Hello everyone, welcome to Nilanjana's exclusive English lessons. Today I'm here to tell you 10 key things that you must do before your English exam. With your board exams round the corner, I know that it can be really pressurizing, but these tips will make you stress free. English is a very important subject in the ICSE curriculum, and my video is specifically meant for those students, those who find really difficult to score in English. First of all, you all have to remember the very important fact that you need to pass in this subject. But what if you are weak? What if you are not able to score? So, what should you do? Because it is really difficult to score in English language. You must be knowing that there are two papers, literature and language, and it gets difficult to score in language if you are weak in English. So, what is the other way around? At the end of the day, your marks will be given as an average. By adding up the literature and the language part, you are going to get an average marks which will be displayed in your scorecard, right? So, how do you work your way out? So the strategy is you have to score high in literature so that the average marks will improve. So this video is meant for those students, those who are finding it difficult to score in English, and I'm going to tell you 10 very important things that you should do if you really want to score above 95% in English. Keep watching the video till the end. Today, I'm going to tell you 10 key things that you should do if you want to score above 95% in English. So let's begin. So the first one is you need to focus on the introduction of each lesson. The introduction of each lesson is vital because it sets the stage for understanding the core ideas. Pay close attention to the introduction because it holds the key to answering exam questions effectively. Introduction means the first page of every lesson where you have information about the poet, the author, the key themes which are mentioned. For example, in the poem A Considerable Speck, you will be asked a couple of questions from the introduction because this is where the narrator already mentioned that what are the key qualities in the mite which he admired. The first is intelligence, the second is reverence for life. So these two keywords should be there in your answer. When you prepare your answers, you have to pay attention to whatever is already mentioned in the introduction. You may write other points, but these two words you cannot miss out. The second important thing is pay attention to details. Pay attention to close details. Every detail can be a clue. It is a thread that connects to a larger concept. For example, when Octavius and Mark Antony were discussing which side of the field each should take, what was the final decision? Octavius was on the right side or on the left side? These are minor details, but it can be very important because these can be asked in your questions exams. So make sure you carefully analyze each and every part of the passage, each and every part of the drama. Don't overlook the small details. The third important way to score good marks in literature is you have to prepare a theme based answer for every lesson. You should know the theme of every lesson. That is going to give you a deeper understanding. Prepare a theme based answer focusing on the key ideas and the author's message. This approach will help you to identify the most important elements of the text and you can connect it to the broader themes. For example, if you are preparing the lesson, The Girl Who Can, what is the theme of the story? The story has the theme of gender bias, right? Insecurity. These are the key themes which are explored. Importance of education, okay? Empowering girls, breaking the taboos, breaking the stereotypes. So these are all the related themes that you can talk about. Then what about the last lesson? The theme is patriotism, importance of education, avoiding procrastination, loss of language. Language is the key to a person's freedom. All these themes I have discussed in my videos where I have explained the lesson. If you are not sure about it, please go and watch. But definitely remember to prepare a theme-based answer for every lesson. Next is sequence-based questions. Sequence-based questions. What are these? This will be a part of your MCQ. I'm sure all of you must be knowing. In the specimen paper also it was given. In all your prelims, wherever you have given the exams in your school, you must be getting sequence based questions. Let's consider act 4 scene 1. I'll give you a random example. In act 4 scene 1, there are a couple of things happens at the beginning. Antony, Lepidus, the triumvirate, they discuss the proscription. Lepidus consents. Then Lepidus is sent to bring the will. Then Octavius tells something about Lepidus. So which action happens in what order? All the 4 to 5 statements will be given, and you will be asked them to put it in the correct order, which happens first and which happens at the end, right? Similarly, let's take a poem, A Considerable Speck. What happens in the first, like the might takes a pause first time, second time, then what happens finally, what does the poet decide to do? So these things are placed in a random sequence and you have to organize them. Remember to prepare such sequence based questions. The fourth point is explore connections and contrast. Connecting previous scene with the current scene. It allows you to analyze the evolution of characters. Evolution of characters means how the characters they develop, they transform, they change their behavior. How does the theme evolve? How does the plot evolve? So all these things are important for cross reference. Compare and contrast. For example, Antony, he talks about the will of Caesar in Act 3, Scene 2, where he appears to be kind, considerate, and he is worried, concerned about the citizens. He tells Caesar has bequeathed his property for the common people, right? However, it's the same Antony who is ready to falsify the accounts in Act 4, Scene 1. So there is a very different Antony that we find in both the scenes. So you may be asked a question on this. On a previous occasion, Antony has mentioned the will. Here he is mentioning the will. What is the difference? So this is how you do a cross reference. Such questions are very probable, and these questions come under the HOTS questions. We've already made a video on that. You can watch that video after this. I'll share the link in the description box, and you should be thorough with such questions. Next is master figures of speech. Figures of speech refers to things like metaphors, similes, personification, hyperbole. For example, power of music is a very vibrant example of hyperbole. However, you will be asked not to identify. You will be asked to find similar figures of speech from the given line, one given line, and from there 3-4 other lines from other text would be given. So you need to draw a relation between these two figures of speech which are similar. So what you need to do, you need to be very thorough. What is a metaphor? What is a simile? What is a personification? Analyze how these devices contribute to the author's message, enhancing the overall meaning and tone of the text. I have been giving you valuable input on preparing well for your literature exams. There are still a lot of things to discuss. At this point, if you find the video valuable, please share it with your friends. Everybody is in need of such tips. And if my tips can help someone, that would be really a blessing for many. So I would request all of you to share this video as much as possible. Everybody wants to give their best in this board exams. It's a preparation of not just 1 year, but it's a culmination of your entire school life from grade 1 to grade 10th is the culmination that happens, and everybody looks forward to this exam with a lot of expectations. So our message or our motto should be to help as much as possible. Okay, so sharing is caring. Do share, and if you found this video helpful till here, please do give a thumbs up and write something. Give me your feedback. Okay, let's get back. The next one is express your personal response. Personal response, what is a personal response? Where you give your own insight about something. You get a chance to engage with the text on a deeper level. Examples: was Brutus Do you find Brutus to be the real hero of the drama? Or do you think Cassius was a true friend to Brutus? Or, for example, do you think the poet was right, the narrator was right to save the mite? What is your opinion? What would you have done? So, these are personal response questions. Always remember to align your answers with the theme. Don't try to get too adventurous and write something out of the box which has no relevance. Keep it relevant, keep it relatable, because your personal response means whether you have actually understood the theme of the lesson or not. Critical analysis, they will also demonstrate that how much you have understood the material. So provide examples from the text to support your opinion. If you think Brutus is the hero, why? If you think the narrator was right to save the mite, why? Give relevant examples from the text. Backdrop of every lesson is very important because it gives you an insight about the background, necessary facts you should know for a complete understanding. Don't ignore the backdrop. Again, the backdrop means, for example, in the story The Last Lesson, the backdrop is the Franco-Prussian War. What was the war all about? In short, you don't have to learn pages. Who had won? What was the treaty that was signed? What were the regulations of the treaty? Like how Alsace and Lorraine, these two territories of France, had suffered. All these details you should know. Next is eighth one, the eighth tip that you have to remember to score above 95% is practice. Regular practice is essential to building confidence and makes you very confident to attempt questions of all types. It makes you comfortable with various question types. And also stay organized. Maintain a well structured study plan. Without a study plan, you are nowhere. Trust me, make a study plan. If you have not made it till now, still 1 month, almost a month is left. I would not say 1 month, but yes, uh, nearly 1 month is left, right? So make sure you have a well structured study plan and you thoroughly understand each lesson. For thorough understanding of the lessons, I think my channel has all the explanations from treasure chest, all the stories, all the poems in English only. As you know, my videos are only in English. I know, because the only reason I make videos in English is because you all have to write in English. Your understanding has to be in English. Your writing skill has to improve in English. So that is the reason I request all of you to watch videos only in English. That is going to give you better understanding of better practice of writing answers. Okay, so these were the 8 tips. Now the remaining 2 tips, which you will not find on the screen, but I'm going to tell that to you. I'm going to speak to you. So what is that? The 9th tip is don't write extremely lengthy answers. You have to write answers which are short, to the point. Don't give an introduction of the story in every answer. Nobody wants that. Your teacher, examiner will only want to read that part which has been asked in the question. There will be negative marking for writing unnecessary answers. So don't do that. Okay. Write how much has been asked. And how much has been asked, you need to write everything about that. Then there you don't do any conjusi. Write whatever you know about that part which has been asked. Okay. And the last one. So what's the last one? The last tip is use keywords from the text, from the drama, to show that you know the text thoroughly. In every answer, at least 3 to 4 keywords should be used. Don't write everything in your own words. Yes, your answer should be framed in your own words, but the points, the words which the poet has used, which the author has used, that has to be used. Okay, so these are the 10 must things you should do to score above 95 in your literature exam if you are weak in English. And if you are weak in English, you have to concentrate in your literature, because this will give you a higher average. Your marks will be given as an average, right? Literature plus language, 1 mark you will get in your mark sheet. Though you will be getting to know how much you got, but the final score will be the average of literature and language, right? So if you are weak in English, if you think it's getting difficult to score in language, trust me, please make sure you are 200% prepared in your literature exam, and it's easy to score 98, 99. For those students who have been trying hard from the beginning of the year, I can vouch that it's not far away, it's quite close. Only a few more days, give your best and you can do well. That's all for the video. Thank you so much for listening, and do watch the video which I'm sharing now in the description box. And if you think the video was helpful, please give a like and subscribe to the channel. It motivates me to make more such videos. Have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.